صحیح ہے نا؟
Boogie, put on that and
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربيع عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله قال سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أولدك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله صلوات
اللهم صل على
فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وتقرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك أخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتذن لي أن أدخل معكما تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت الكساء صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد.
فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد أذنت لك فدخل علي تحت الكساء صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد.
ثم آتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بنتي قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجه.
فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وعامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأزلف عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرض مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمس مضيئة ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبريل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومقدر الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبقلها وبنوها. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
فقال جبريل يا رب أتذن لي أن أقبض إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبريل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله العلي الأعلى يقبلك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرض مدهية ولا قمر منيرا ولا شمس مضيئة ولا فلك يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلك يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد.
فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد.
فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه شأن من شيعتنا ومحبين إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبين وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
اللهم إني أسألك بحق محمد وأنت المحمود وبحق علي وأنت الأعلى وبحق فاطمة وأنت فاطر السماوات والأرض وبحق الحسن وأنت المحسن وبحق الحسين وأنت قديم الإحسان وبحق الأئمة التسعة الطاهرين من ذرية الحسين عليهم السلام.
اللهم صل على
کرتے ہیں لگا دیں تو No, it's nice and bright.
Very good. Very good. MashaAllah. Yes.
فاتحہ. اعوذ باللہ السمیع العلیم من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ الذی ہدانا لہذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا ان هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق والصلاة والسلام على رسول الثقلين محبوب رب المشرقين والمغربين جد الحسن والحسين أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد. بسم الله الرحمن والفرقان الحميد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يخرج من بيته مهاجرا إلى الله ورسوله ثم يدركه الموت فقد وقع أجره على الله وكان الله غفورا رحيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. A little louder, please. We are on the subject, the secrets of the Salat. And up till now, whatever we have done in the last 4 discourses, I hope you do not have any doubts in that and you could understand everything. If anybody has got any doubt, you have my WhatsApp. Please, you all can either call me up or send me a message. I'll give you a detailed explanation of everything I'm doing. One salawat again on Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
The verse which we have been pursuing, it is the 100th verse of Surah An-Nisa. And it's a beautiful verse. It talks about jihad. On the outward side of understanding, it sounds about jihad, and Allah is saying that if you leave your house and journey towards Allah and His Messenger, and then that overtakes him, then surely your reward is with your God, and He is most merciful, forgiving. But if you take out the layers and layers of meanings of it, and I have been giving out those meanings to you in the last 4 days, that it may be going to a masjid, it may be going for a hajj, it may be going out to do any good work. And the one who dies in such a way is actually known as a shaheed. And shaheed, as we think, shaheed in Arabic has got different meanings. and we have got in our mind only one concept, and that concept is that the one who is killed in the way of Allah. Yes, it is true. Shaheed means it is one who is killed in the way of Allah. Then it has got a deeper meaning as well to the verse. It means that can witness. Shaheed actually means witness. Now see, whenever you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you are saying that I am the witness that there is no Allah save Allah. Okay, so we are witnessing. Have you seen Allah? Have you seen Allah? You have not seen Allah, right? But you are still saying it. So are you telling lies? No, of course not. So who has told you to say this? The one whom you trust more than yourself. The one who you trust more than yourself, through his witnessing only you can say that. Am I right or no? That you trust that person is implicitly a truthful one, implicitly a messenger of Allah, infallible. And though he has said it 1400 years ago, all Muslims in the world go on proclaiming it throughout 1400 years ago. All the Muslims in the world go on proclaiming it throughout their lives. In fact, many times in a day, knowing that they have not witnessed Allah. But the one who said that he is the witness that there is no Allah save Allah, he's such a truthful one. And we, believe him so implicitly that he can say only the truth. So do you realize the part the Prophet plays in your life? That when he says that something is there, you do not see it. You have to just close your eyes and you have to say, yes, it is there. That sort of personality is nobody else that trustworthy, that truthful one. There is nobody like that in your life except him, even not your closest friend, even not your parents. Whatever he says, you have to repeat, and that becomes your religion. Whatever he does, you enact upon, and it becomes your deed. Nobody is like that in your life except him. So he has got that status of being a shaheed, right? Shaheed. And shaheed can be said in two ways. You can say it shaheed also, and you can say it shahid also. Now, what is the difference between shaheed and shahid? Shahid is the one who's present here and he is witnessing you, like in a court of law. This is, of course, I'm just giving you an example, but that is what it means. Shahid means the one who's present with you and he is giving your witness to be a truthful person. That one is a shahid. And shaheed is a person who is in batin. Means you cannot see him. He is in the ghaib. He is in the ghaib, but still he is. I would request everybody, please keep your phones on silent if you all don't mind. It's just a 40 minutes lecture. It's going to get over after that. One Salat Muhammadan wa ali Muhammad. So you do realize that, one is shahid and one is shaheed. Shahid is the one who is present in front of you, and the shaheed is the one who is absent, but still he can witness. So do you understand that by your Rasulullah being a shaheed and a shahid, or a shahid and a shaheed, he is giving your witness in the present and in the absence. He is saying to Allah that this person has witnessed. He has to be a witness. Allah does not need any witnessing. Allah does not need any witnessing. He knows everything. Your past, your present, your future, and before that and after that. Allah knows everything. Then why does he need a witness? That is seen and unseen. The reason for that is that is his status. The status of the messenger through whom he sends the message. So the one who gives you the message of Allah, though you proclaim Allah to be Allah, your Lord, Allah is not going to accept it. Allah is not going to accept it, but Allah is not going to accept it, but through the one through whom he has sent the message. In other words, you can call the shifa'at. Shifa'a means joining. In other words, you can call wasila, means the intercession. So through whom he sends, through the same person he receives. And if anybody wants to delete that mediator from their lives, then nothing of them is accepted. Allah is not to you. So when you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah without the Prophet, it is not accepted from you. As soon as Allah created pen, pen means education, pen means knowledge, the first knowledge. So that's what we call the kalam. Okay, that is there in the highest heavens. As soon as Allah created qalam, and he created from his light, but his light, after creating the light of the Panchatan, he created the pen with his light. And as soon as, pen means knowledge means speech, and as soon as the first words that Allah said the pen to say that Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. So do you know something that is very important? Of course, Imam Jafar Sadiq al-Islam says that as soon as you say Muhammadur Rasulullah, immediately you have to add Aliun Waliullah to that. Okay, because that is our special faith, vilayat. So now coming back, that what does education teach you? The most educated man in this world, if he doesn't believe in the origin of education, in the origin of knowledge, is the most illiterate person. For that reason, they gave this title to Rasulullah. When everybody knows in Arabic, each word can carry hundreds of meanings. Why was the most downward word illiterate? What does illiterate mean? Why was that used? Na'uzubillah, for our Prophet. So can you imagine how illiterate they are? Because the pen itself has to say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. So the most learned one is who says that. And then when the pen was asked to say that, the pen asked Allah. These are the communications. These are not something, objects which you keep in your mind. These are the highest form of communications between Allah and the other things that he has created. And then you cannot understand. You will understand only because we are in the mundane part of the world. We are mundane part of the world. So communication for us are with the senses. If there are not senses, we cannot understand. Something has to be written, something has to be read, something has to be understood. Then only we can understand. But these revelations, when Allah asks and the pen answers, when the pen asks and Allah answers, are only for the people of the high degrees who believe in revelations, they can understand. So the education asked Allah, who is this elevated person? Whom have you honored so much that you have joined your name to his name? So he said, he is my messenger Muhammad. And if he wouldn't have been there, I wouldn't have created this world. And as soon as the qalam hears this from Allah, he's filled with awe. He is filled with awe. And that was the first time he said, Assalamu alayka, Ya Rasulallah. Okay, so it became, why is it sunnat to say salam and wajib to give jawab? Because education says salam. And the one through whom there are all sources of education come out, he gives the jawab. He said, Alaikas salam. So Rasulullah went answered him. So that's why, because the pen said, it is sunnat. Because Rasulullah gave the answer, it is wajib. So, moving along with the shahid and the shaheed, I made you all understand what a shahid is, what a shaheed is. Even in the Quran, what says it is there in Suratul Baqarah and Suratul Al Imran. Two places. That one who die in the way of Allah. The one who give their lives in the way of Allah, do not call them dead. They are alive, and they who give their lives in the way of Allah, do not call them dead. They are alive, and they receive their sustenance from their Lord. Sustenance. Sustenance means what does remain, what needs a sustenance. If you remember the first day I had spoke to you, no, not in this, in the night majlis, I done jasad. Jasad means the form that is physical. Ruh is something that is absent. You cannot see it. It is there, but you cannot see it. So jasad is the present form. And jism is the organs, your breath, your sight, your heart. So when you say salam on the shaheed, what do you say? Assalamu ala ajsadikum wa ajsamikum wa ala shahidikum wa ala batinikum. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Arwahikum. So salam be on your spirits, on your physical forms. So when there are physical forms lying down in those graves, then only can you say no. Okay, salam on your physical forms. Salam on your jism is your body, your heart, your eyes, your hands, your limbs. So they are in their physical forms, they are lying inside those graves. That's why we are saying, and believe me, all these ziyarats, know it, that they are not written by people. They are all revelations of Allah. Allah has revealed the ziyarats to the Prophet. And the Prophet has given us the ziyarat-e-ashura. And the reason for that was, it is a consolation. It was a consolation to the heart of the Prophet that one will remain behind. One will live to avenge the blood of Hussein. And it is also a consolation to all the hearts of the believers who cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that one day there is someone behind the veils who is going to appear and he is going to avenge the blood of Imam Hussein. That is what you talk about in Ziyarate, Ziyarate Ashura. So that's what it is. Now coming back to what we were talking about, a Hazir, Shahid and Shaheed. Now, see, when we pray a namaz and when the Imams pray their namaz, do you think that the namaz of the Imam is like us? The namaz of Rasulullah, when he went to Mi'raj, did we get the namaz? Did we get this? So it is whatever he did. We are just, we are doing the ita'at of that. Obedience to that, and that becomes your namaz. That is his lifestyle. So now, how is his namaz? His namaz is going to Miraj from one step to another, from one stage to another, from one sky to another. Then he reaches the throne, then he reaches the pen, then he reaches the pamphlets, wherever. He's going and right up to the oceans of light, where nobody can enter, not even the angels, the highest angels. So can you imagine, is that your namaz? That was his namaz. That was his namaz. So one who has got such a namaz, his existence for everybody's namaz is a compulsion. I will, tell you all one thing, one incident through which you will understand what the namaz of the Aimma is. When the sun goes down and Ali has not said the prayers. Can't he say qaza? We all do, na? Don't we say our qaza prayers? We all say our qaza. Don't we say our qaza prayers? We all say our qaza prayers. But why for him? What is so special in him? That Allah will bring the sun back to its original place. In that place that where he can pray his namaz. Why? So that his wahi is also completed. And namaz of Maula Ali is also completed. Because he does not want, his sheets. Not that he needs any sheets. Yesterday I was explaining to with the example of the shares. The namaz that every minute it goes up and the other minute it is down. It is depending upon how do you evaluate it. So now coming back to it, that why when everybody prays qaza, why can't Maula Ali pray qaza namaz? Why the sun has to come back to him? In the first verse of Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now you just take two words from here, Rab and Alameen. Just take two words. Rab is the creator and Alameen is everything inclusively that was created by Allah, from the tiniest atom to the biggest galaxy and universe. Alameen is inclusive of all his creation. And Rab is the sole God, unique. Allah, only one. Only Rab is the sole God, unique. Allah, only one, the unique one. And the other side is everybody, the Alameen. So now, he needs somebody to intermediate, because he's too great a Lord that he will come to you. If he comes to you, you don't exist. He is the greatest Lord. He will not come to you. So he needs somebody like himself, greater than, less greater than him. Such a creation that can be towards him and towards you. So that comes between the Rab and the Alameen. So when you pronounce this first verse of Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, you pronounce Muhammadin wa Ale Muhammad. Because they are the ones. Allah has not taught you the namaz. They have taught you the namaz. So when they have taught you the namaz, their presence in namaz, for Allah, it is very important that they be present in the namaz. Because if they are not present in the namaz does not exist. Just like an atom. It does not have a center, just like a cell. It does not have a nucleus. There is no existence of cell. There is no nucleus. There is no existence of cell. In the same way, if he is not there, the whole world, the whole Alameen, the worlds and the universes, wherever people are, they may pray and pray and pray and pray, but it is non-existent because that nucleus is not there. So now you know that, Maula Ali had not prayed the namaz and the sun had gone down. People may have prayed, but none of them were accepted. None of them is accepted. When you stand for Jama'at, if the Imam of Jama'at is absent, you do not have a Jamaat namaz. This full universe is praying a Jamaat namaz. If the Imam of the Jamaat does not pray, so when does he pray? Indian time, Pakistani time, UAE time, USA time, which timing does he pray? That when he prays, our prayers will be accepted. So we will see to it that we will try and stand at that time and pray. He is all that we will try and stand at that time and pray. He is all time in the state of prayer. He is all time in the state of prayer. Allah just wanted to show you the importance of the namaz of Maula Ali. That the sun is going to come back. If he doesn't finish that namaz, it goes behind him. It goes behind. We go behind the sun. The sun doesn't go behind us. But for Maula Ali, it was opposite. And one more thing I want to bring to your notice, that, when Rasulullah asked, revelation was coming to Rasulullah, and he was lying down on the lap of Maula Ali when the sun went down and his namaz became qaza. And as soon as the wahi was over, he opened his eyes and he asked Maula Ali, did you pray your namaz? He said, no, Rasulullah, I couldn't because you were lying on my lap. But we can also ask na Rasulullah, did you say your namaz? Did you say your namaz? So whatever is important to them is beyond namaz. They are beyond our, we cannot perceive them. Rasulullah said once when Salman went into the masjid and came out, and somebody asked him, who is there in the masjid, saying there are two persons, I do not know them. And when the person came inside, he saw Rasulullah and Maula Ali sitting. He got very upset. He said, Salman, the companion of Rasulullah, Nauzubillah, lies. And he brought him, said, he lies to me. He lied to me. He said, get him here. Get him here. He said, what happened? Salman, what did you say? He said, I said what you said. You said nobody knows you except Allah and Ali. And nobody knows Ali except you and Allah. And nobody knows Allah except you and Ali. You had said it. I said, where am I lying? I'm speaking the truth. So you cannot perceive them to the extent that, he is so close to Rabbubiyat. Not, Rabbubiyat means the Lordship, not the Lord. I did the other day with y'all, the colors of God. If I remember that when he got the, Allahu Akbar, when he got that kibriyai, and people started saying the way he is walking, Ya Rasulallah today, as if he is somebody great. And he says that Allah and his Prophet likes this gait of Ali. So that's what it is. He was so close to Allah that people got confused and became Nusayri. That is why when he died in the sajda, he says, by the Lord of the Kaaba, I am successful. He was able to prove to everybody that he is a creation of God, not God. One salawat on Muhammad and wale Muhammad. Ya Rasulallah. Ya Ali. Salawat bar Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
When Rasulullah would say his prayers, how in Iraq and how, we feel so much, my God, we should not visit. You feel so good when you stand in the Jamaat, and these people had the opportunity to pray with the Prophet. And you know what they do? Come and stand. Somebody will stand, come in, some will go piche. And then before Rasulullah Khuda would do ruku, they would go into the ruku. So now how does the Prophet, and who's going to complain? Because they are all like that. They are all doing like that, dashing and pushing and not standing in proper lines. And one day Rasulullah reprimanded them. And he said, listen, when you come to pray behind me, now this is the Shaheed, not the Shahid. The one who sees the unseen. Nobody can see from behind. Na? Rasulullah could see from behind. He is not a man. See, we are human beings. We are born in this earth. We stay in a world that is dimensional. He is from the world of multi dimensions, where you can see when you go to Jannah, you can see everywhere. You will be able to, we will not be like, our sight won't be like that. It will be totally different. The sight will be the same, but because the conditions will be different. So now they are the beings of paradise. For them, Allah made the paradise. So now naturally when they see, they say whatever is happening in front and behind, in the past, in the future. When he's lying down and somebody said behind their backs, please keep quiet. He's just gone to sleep and he's resting. And he answers back. He said, no, I'm sleeping, I'm awake. And remember that as I can see ahead, the same I can see behind. So that is called the Shaheed. That is the Shaheed. So when he is standing in prayer, these people are coming and they are, not standing properly in their saf. Called the discipline is not proper of the saf, and they are bending down in their ruku before Rasulullah can bend down. So when he turned around, he reprimanded them and he said, listen, when you stand behind me, you have to stand in disciplined rows. This is the discipline what is taught by Rasulullah. How many of us, namaz is the thing that makes us disciplined. How many people's namaz have made us disciplined? Here the namaz is over. Here everybody has to run out and go. Here the madrasas go over. I should go the first one. So that is what it is. That is very important, that patience, that discipline. That is what makes a nation disciplined and strong. And, Allah, Rasulullah said, stand in your discipline. When you are standing behind me, your lines should be proper and do not go into ruku before I go into ruku. People's ruku is, they cannot move ahead of him. Nobody can move ahead of him. Nobody can go ahead of him. Nobody can precede him, neither in prayers, not in anything else. If you cannot precede him in prayer, you can precede him in anything else, because this is the best thing that has been given to us. There is one more ayat of the Quran where it is spoken about Rasulullah, and Rasulullah says, Allah says to Rasulullah, he's turning among the sajideen. Now, what does mean turning among the sajideen? It says, Surah Ash-Shu'ara 219th verse, it says, وَتَقَلِّبْكَ فِي السَّاجِدِينَ. Your movement among the people who perform sajda. Now, I have got a person who teaches me Arabic, and when she came across this, our translations and our understanding of the Quran are very different. Very different. This was translated to me as if a master with a stick. How they have these children who sit down and pray the Quran together, and the Janab has got a big stick and he's sitting far off. Have you seen it ever? You have seen it, na? I've seen it. So itni dur agar bachcha galat padega na, to itni dur se na, he will hit him with that stick, that you are gone wrong, the Janab, when they are praying the Quran. So now, see, as you see, you take religion according to your environment. That's why everybody's, precepts of religion is different. For Azadari, even if you travel 2 kilometers away, Azadari is little different. The way of living is little different. The matam is different. You get the religion to the atmosphere. It is not that theirs is, wrong, or ours is right, or ours is lesser and this is more. It is everywhere. It's like that. So when she taught me, she told me that he used to walk between the people who used to do sajda and see that they do sajda properly. And he used to walk like a stick. I said that like a master, he would walk between the rows, because that is what they have seen about teaching. But it is not so. According to us, taqallab, what does mean? Ya muqallab al-qulub. Turning. It means turning. Sometimes it's right round also. A circular movement also. It's called, taqallab. And even our, hearts are known as qulub. Even our hearts are known as qulub. So when it was said taqallab, he is going round in the sajideen. What translation we have was that his forefathers were the ones who would do sajda. His mothers and grandmothers were doing sajda. So when he was within them, he would have a movement of his own. When Janabe Abdul Muttalib did a sajda, when Janabe Abdullah did a sajda. So what do you understand? Forefathers are the people of this religion who pray namaz, because elsewhere you will, if you follow only history and you do not take the Quran, you do not understand the Quran. It has to be attached. Why this verse came, when this verse came. And all that is there with Imam Zamana. Whenever he comes, inshallah, we'll get a chance to touch that book, that which Imam Ali has written, where each verse is written with all the references. What it means, what is its meaning, that's the first meaning, and what is its last meaning, and what its meaning in this era, and what its meaning was in that era, and what its meaning is going to be in the coming years. Everything is written by Maula Ali, with references, with history, with his time of descent, with his place of descent, everything. So when it is said your movement within the Sajati, it means that when his fathers were doing sajda, he also used to make a movement. And Allah is talking about that awareness of Rasulullah at that time also, whenever he was with his 48 generations of prophets and holy people. In the 48th generation, Janabe Abdul Muttalib. In the 49th generation, this light broke into two. One was transferred to Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib. The other was to Abu Talib, Imran bin Abdul Muttalib, 49th generation. And 50th generation from Janabe Adam was Rasulullah and Maula Ali. This is what is called in the Quran, Marajal Bahrani Yaltaqiyan, Bainahuma Barzaqul la yabqiyan. Allah has made the two oceans flow freely, and they have got a barrier in between them, which they do not trespass. One salawat on Muhammad and now today being the day of Janabi Anu Muhammad, they were the handsome sons of Bibi Zainab, and they were very dear to the heart of Imam Hussain. You know, in the family of Ahle Bayt, whatever we get information, is we always get this information that his brother's children are dearer to him than his own children. And even the mothers love to take care of that. And we should all learn from. And this is what is Karbala all about. It is not just one aspect of learning something, but it is learning from all the views. I had brought up Janabe Ali Akbar, and she was going to be a shaheed. He has to go to the battlefield. And she was just for their shahadat. But they are still 9 and 10 years of age. But just for that Janabe Ali Akbar should live, because she had Fatima, and because he was the son of her dear brother. And she said, it's not possible that Ali Akbar goes away and my children stay behind. You see that selflessness of Bibi Zainab. You see her as a sister. You see her as a mother. You think in your mind, if you are a mother, if you are a sister, think it. You have got relationships all around you. How selfless is she? And how much she loves her family. And what a role she played. Just, I think yesterday I spoke about her. That what a wonderful woman she is. What a woman with so much of power, that she had the power to carry on her shoulders the Imam in Shama Ghariba and to bring him out of his tent. She had that strength that Ibn Ziyad said, I had heard Ali is dead. Who is this Ali? So, these are the covers sometimes. The Imams name their sons with similar names so that the Imamat goes on. So they thought that they had killed the Imam. But the Imam was on his bed. He was sick and nobody knew about it. He said, I have heard, I have read that Ali ibn al-Hussein is dead. How is he standing over here? Somebody said that was Ali Akbar. That was not Ali ibn al-Hussein. And then he says, kill him immediately. I don't want one man of this family alive. Kill him immediately. And as soon as he said that, Bibi Zainab, she went and stood in front of Imam Zain al-Abidin and she hugged him. And she said, if you have got the power, kill me first. Kill me first. Then only I will allow you to touch him. So you can imagine, and this did not happen once. This did not happen once. She is, who is Ali? She is the daughter of Ali. Her name is Zainab. She is the ornament of the father. How she saved Imamat and brought to y'all, and what she gave? She gave away her children. She gave away her chadar. If she would have told Imam Hussein, I can't do it, I will not come, he wouldn't have told her to come. She came knowing everything, that what she has to suffer, but she also knew that she has to, when Islam will be in its most vulnerable stage, she will be the only one who will be able to bring it back to life. Because Sayyid Sajjad is going to be sick. Otherwise, he will be killed. Imam Hussain al-Islam is going to give away his head. Then who else is there closest to Rasulullah? It was a woman. It was Bibi Zainab. And the strength in her, giving away her children and not crying, seeing their dead faces, drenched in blood. Is it possible for any mother to see that? Is it? But she saw it. She saw it, she bore it with patience. And she did a prostration. And she said, Allah, accept my qurbani. Accept it. That's why Allah calls it the great sacrifice. Because there's not one sacrifice. This is not going to happen. The Ibrahim sacrifice did not take place. It was his intention to give his son, but it did not happen. So Allah calls this the greatest sacrifice. See the sacrifice of Bibi Zainab. Feel her heart. Feel her heart. What she is feeling. She has lost everything on the 11th of Ashura. She doesn't have a husband with her who's in Medina and who loved her like anything. She doesn't have a brother without whom she cannot live. She has lost her nephews whom she had brought up. She has lost her children. And most importantly, she has lost her chadar. And she has to move ahead. Salam on my aunt Zainab, who did not lose one namaz, even on the back of the camel. Even on the back of the camel. You see the strength in the bazaars. You see her strength in the markets, in the lanes. Have you ever thought about that in the courts, in the prison, and then to see her family suffering? To see her family suffering. But in all these suffering, she was an anchor to them. She was an anchor. She did not allow the ship of Rasulullah to sink. She took it up till Medina, not saying one word about her pain, but looking after everybody. But when she went to her house and she asked her husband to take her to the room of her children, to the room of her sons, and when Abdullah, she had become like an old woman, a 55-year or a 54-year Arab woman is not old. And the one who belongs to the family of Ali, she was not old when she went. But when she had come, not a single hair was black. Her back had bent like an old woman. Her skin had burnt and become thick like leather. Her husband couldn't recognize her. And when he takes her into the room of the children, she goes and looks at each and everything, their shirts, their beds, their kurtas, their robes, small turbans which they used to wear. She's looking at each and everything. And finally, she sees the musallas which are hanging on the wall, on which our beautiful children used to pray. As she breaks down and she says, "Oh, Abdullah, how unfortunate a mother I am. I didn't even cry for my children. We are here, oh princess, to give puja to you. Oh, Honor Muhammad, please accept it from us. Alanatullahi alal qawmil zalimeen." اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة الحسين وفي الآخرة شفاعة الحسين وزدنا محبة الحسين واحشرنا مع الحسين. اللهم اكتبنا من الزوار الحسين. اللهم باقينا من الأعزاء الحسين. اللهم اجعلنا زمرة من شيعة الحسين. اللهم اشرنا تحت لواء الحسين. اللهم ادخل الجنة من الباب الحسين بحق محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. والسلام. Super.